Peppa's Park Treasure. One sunny morning, Peppa and George were playing in their garden when George tripped over something hidden in the grass. "What's this, Peppa?" he squeaked, holding up an old, rolled-up map tied with a faded ribbon. Peppa carefully untied the ribbon. The map was crinkled and faded, but they could see a dotted line leading from their house to a big X in the middle of a park. "It's a treasure map," Peppa exclaimed, her tail wiggling with excitement. "Let's go find the treasure, George," Peppa declared. They told Mummy Pig and Daddy Pig about their discovery, and soon the whole family was on their way to the park, following the map. The park was bustling with other families and friends. Peppa and George carefully studied the map, trying to figure out which path to take. "The map says to go past the big oak tree," Peppa announced. As they walked, a little squirrel with a bushy tail named Rusty scampered down from the oak tree. "Squeak! What's that you have?" Rusty chattered, tilting his head. Peppa explained about the treasure map. Rusty's eyes lit up. "I know this park like the back of my paw. I can help you," he offered, eagerly hopping ahead. Rusty led them deeper into the park, past colorful flower beds and a sparkling pond. Suddenly, they heard a soft hoo-hoo from a tall, ancient tree. A wise old owl, Professor Hoot, was perched on a branch. "Are you looking for something, little ones?" Professor Hoot asked kindly. Peppa showed him the map. Professor Hoot peered at it with his spectacles. "Ah, the X marks the spot where the greatest treasure lies. Friendship and fun." Peppa and George looked at each other, then at Rusty, who was happily munching on an acorn. They realized Professor Hoot was right. The real treasure wasn't buried gold, but the wonderful adventure they were having with new friends. They spent the rest of the day playing with Rusty, laughing and exploring the park. When the sun began to set, they said goodbye to Rusty and Professor Hoot, knowing they had found the best treasure of all. Peppa's Garden Treasure Hunt. One sunny morning, Peppa Pig and her little brother George were playing in their garden. "I'm bored, Peppa," said George, kicking a small stone. "Me too, George," replied Peppa. Just then, Daddy Pig came out, holding a rolled-up piece of paper. "Who wants to go on a treasure hunt?" Daddy Pig boomed. Peppa and George squealed with delight. "Here's your first clue." Daddy Pig handed Peppa the paper. It read, "Find the place where the buzzing bees make sweet golden treats." "The beehive!" shouted Peppa, and they ran towards the big round beehive near the apple tree. Hidden under the beehive, they found another clue. Next, search where the wiggly worms dance in the dark, damp earth. "That must be the compost heap," said George, wiggling his nose. They hurried to the big, brown heap. Sure enough, tucked between some old leaves was the final clue. Your treasure awaits where the colorful flowers bloom for all to see. "The flower bed!" Peppa and George exclaimed together. They raced to the brightest, most colorful part of the garden. And there it was, a lovely picnic basket filled with Mummy Pig's freshly baked cookies. "Hooray for treasure!" they cheered, munching happily.